Good morning. Morning for me, at least right now. Nice Monday morning. Wanted to do a video about a couple of little things. Well, the first thing, I guess, kind of as a side note to the main topic. I thought it was kind of funny. This one guy over in the Philippines has a channel, and he's always talking about other people, other YouTube channels, especially if they happen to be Americans, because he's not an American. And he had one about the one channel, with the kind of like, the whole pot calling the kettle black thing. And the channel talking about all the drama. And then I watched a little bit of another video he did after making a whole bunch of videos about the very same drama. Talking about how all these channels, they used to be about giving, helpful hints to people, maybe, talking about their experiences in the Philippines, doing different things and living there, and how it's all just turned into this Jerry Springer stuff. And it was just so funny to me, because the only reason I even know a lot of this shit is going on is when I see him talk about it. Because honestly, the vast majority of those other channels, I don't watch them. Once you've seen one 70-year-old guy sitting there with their young Philippine wife or girlfriend, while she sits there nodding at him and smiling every once in a while or whatever, while he talks about shit. He talks about, at least old people shit. You've seen them all. There's really no way you have time to watch every single one of those things and all their different videos and all of that. I'm here working in America, have my life with my wife and all of that. When I do get on YouTube, for the most part, I might, I'm watching stuff more different places in the Philippines and travel stuff, and I'm watching stuff about guitars and firearms and different kinds of things that I'm interested in, photography, whatever. There's just no way that you can keep up on all that shit. But this one guy's channel, who I was subscribed to, and I see some of his stuff sometimes. He's an interesting character, but he's the one that's always talking about that shit, and then he tells other people, they're like Jerry Springer. But that's what you expect, Everybody out there's talking about this stuff, and when you're one of the ones who's doing it, you can't act all self-righteous like, oh, I'm different from everybody else who's doing it, because none of us is any different. But the main thing I wanted to talk about, I did one video a while back talking about whether or not building a home in the Philippines is an investment in the classical sense of the word, And my position was that it's really not. It can be an investment in your future, in your family's future, your wife's future, and all of that. But in terms of looking at it as an investment that you're going to be able to pull money back out of that someday, it's just not what it is. Thought I might speed up and make the screen light down here, but it doesn't look like I'm going to. That's okay. It'll give us another few minutes to talk. But someone commented on that video that the reason they built a home out in the provinces, they were sick of spending, like $1,000 a month on rent in Cebu or wherever, or Iloilo. And by building a house, now they're free of that, living rent-free. Obviously, you've got the initial cost of building the home. But a lot of guys, I'm kind of surprised at what a lot of people are paying over there for rent. If I was going to rent in the Philippines, I just can't see spending $1,000 a month to do it. But to see a lot of people over there who are, And I guess it just depends on the lifestyle you're after, if and what you want. You know, a lot of people want to have that freedom. I'm renting somewhere, and anytime I want to, I can pick up and move somewhere else. If I get bored here, or I want to, you know, be in a different location. And that's the one advantage of renting. But, you know, if you're spending $1,000 a month on rent, that's a lot of money, you know, especially for the Philippines. If you're spending that much money on rent over there, you'd better be getting every single possible convenience you can imagine, and a fitness center, world-class view, world-class amenities. I saw the one guy, was it Asian Adventures with Jim or whoever, the one guy that went back over there recently, and he made some videos. He was hanging out when my wife was back over there in November. She took her mom and her 3 nieces back over there to Cebu, over there around Mactown, Newtown, and they spent some time over there. And it looked like he was in the same place where she was, and he was talking about how great that place was. You know, if you've got all those amenities, everything you could possibly want right there, you know, that's awesome. But some of these guys, I see places they're spending $1,000 a month on, and I'm just like, why? I saw a video the other day by this guy. He, I forget the name of his channel now, but I've seen a couple of videos, you know, by him before over there around Cagayan de Oro, and he was talking again to this one guy he knows there, and he was showing the place that he's living in for like $1,000 a month, 50,000 pesos a month, a little under $1,000. You know, he's got like part of this one big house, like 4 bedrooms and stuff. And the location was pretty cool. You know, it's in a big, you know, gated development, and nice view up on top of this hill and everything. And where the lot where he has kind of on the end of this little cul-de-sac, pretty cool. But aside from that, sorry, I'm shaking my head. I just don't know why these people have to use both sides of the road to go around a corner at 30 miles an hour. He was showing a little tour of the house, and honestly, except for the location, I just didn't see what he was paying like almost $1,000 a month for, you know? But that's like this other guy said, you know, spent his money building a house out in the provinces, and now he's living out there rent-free. I don't know what he paid for his house and all of that to build it, but if you're spending $1,000 a month on rent, and you kick out, say, you're planning to be in one location long term with your wife and all of that, you could spend $120,000, and that's basically the same amount of money you would be spending on rent for 10 years. Because if you're spending $1,000 a month, you've got $12,000 a year you're spending just paying for a condo or something, or wherever, you know, unless you're spending it on a really nice big house, whatever. But in a lot of cases, you know, you can build a really nice house in the Philippines for 120 grand. And you can have it exactly the way you want it, where you want it, hopefully, and all of that. But that just shows, you know, 2 different kind of viewpoints about the whole process. Some people, they want that freedom, and they don't mind it. They say, well, yeah, I'm spending $1,000 a month, but I'm getting what I want, and anytime I want to, I can pick up and go. And, you know, maybe they're over there, they're on their own, they're single, and they don't want to be tied down, or they think maybe if they do get involved with a different person from somewhere else, or they just want to like go explore a different place and experience what it's like to live there day in, day out, you know, you can move to a different place every couple of months. And for $1,000 a month, you can have a really good experience. It's like that guy on the one channel living there, or, you know, staying there in Newtown. He said that they were doing like a short-term thing, like $40 a night. I think it was like a little studio apartment, but I think they've got like 6 people staying there right now. But for $40 a night, even if you just wanted to spend stuff, you know, nightly, you know, that's like $1,200 a month you're spending. You could just If you got the money to do it though, you can just move around, stay in nice hotels, never have any other living expense. Obviously, if you wanted to rent stuff more long term or by the month or a few months at a time, you could probably get a cheaper rate. But what kind of place are you going to have? Unless it's a really awesome place, I mean, would you really want to spend that kind of money just for like some kind of a studio apartment? The condos and stuff over there in the Philippines are really small too, unless you're spending a crazy amount of money. So maybe you got like a 2-bedroom condo or something with a super awesome view of your favorite part of the city, and you're close to all the conveniences you want to be around, all your favorite malls and restaurants and Starbucks every 100 feet. And if that's the lifestyle you're looking for, you know, it might be worth it to know that anytime you want to, you can just say, okay, I'm leaving, and you're gone. But it doesn't take long to add up if you're spending $1,000 a month on rent. There are a lot of people that build houses in the Philippines for less than $50,000. You know, if you're spending $1,000 a month on rent, that's like $48,000 in 4 years. So if you could spend $48,000 building a house, you got your money back. You know, that's like live there for 4 years, and it's the same as what you're spending to rent somewhere for 4 years at that kind of rate, you know? So if you are renting in the Philippines, I don't know, for me personally, unless you've just got money to burn, I can't see you spending that kind of money to rent somewhere. But it's a difference in philosophy. You have to think about that if you're thinking about building a house. But what I said before in the other video is still, if you build a house, you do have to recognize that if anything goes wrong, you have to be able to write that off and just say, okay, I'm not going to be able to get my money back out of that. That's the difference. So you better be sure about what's going on if you're building a house instead of renting. And everybody has to make that decision for themselves, you know, how secure they are in that relationship and what is going on. Stop in here at Starbucks, maybe have something to drink for my Monday morning. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that. Just if you're renting and you think it's going to save you money, you need to take a very close look at just exactly how much you're spending to rent. Because if you go over there and you're spending that kind of money to rent,